it's Nikki, Project Coordinator for Hospitality Table Cornwall. The demonstration you are about to watch has been filmed at Hotel Tresanton, which is located in St Mawes. On behalf of the team, we'd like to thank Karen Baxter and the rest of the staff at the hotel for allowing us to film here for a training resource, as well as letting us create lunch for the hardworking staff preparing for life after lockdown at Hotel Tresanton.
So we've done our preparations in the kitchen and now we're here on the terrace of Tresanton to cook the vegetables for the barbecue. Amazing day, amazing backdrop. Barbecue's fired up, temperature's going. We're going to start by doing the vegetable dish. So the char grill the vegetables on there just to give them some colour, gives them a bit more flavour, and then we're going to finish the dish on here. So the barbecue's up to about 200 now, nice and hot. So we're going to get the vegetables straight on. Going to let them really colour, just leave them alone. Okay, so the vegetables have been cooking for about 4 or 5 minutes. I've turned them over so they've got a lovely caramelised colour on them. Now what I'm going to do now, just before we finish this, we're just going to let the vegetables, like anything, we're going to let them rest. So we're just going to take them out and put them onto a cloth just to take any excess oil off those before we put the dish together. So the vegetables are there resting now. We'll be plating them up in a minute. I just wanted to note that the reason I'm wearing gloves today, PPE, is that we're filming this during lockdown and we've been invited onto someone else's premises to do so. Right, so let's plate the dish. So we've got the lovely vegetables. We're just going to randomly put some down here. We're not going to overload the plate too much. Just think 3 pieces of courgette's fine. We'll take the peppers. Just going to gently tear them slightly. We'll go for 3 there as well. Okay, so we want to put some capers on there to give it a bit of acidity. So put a few baby capers on. Want to take some olives. I'm just going to split them. About 3 olives. Then we're going to take some lovely vine tomatoes. Again, about 3 be enough. This is a starter size portion. Just going to cut those down on. And we've got some lovely little mini mozzarella balls. Again, in half. I'm going to go for 2.5, so that gives 5 pieces. That gives a lovely creaminess to the dish. So you've got the acidity of the capers. I'll put a few more on there just to finish off. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of salt just to season the tomatoes. The vegetables were seasoned, a little bit of salt. Then we're just going to finish that with a little bit of micro basil. One more for luck. A few other little added extras, just again I haven't put any pepper on it, but we're going to use the pepperiness in the olive oil just to finish the dish. And then this is very much an option, added option, but what I would do is just a few crunchy shallots just to give the dish a little bit of texture. And there you go. So the next thing we're going to cook is we're going to cook the burgers. So the burgers that we made at college yesterday are now going onto the grill. No oil because the fat will hopefully render out. There will be enough fat on there. So we're putting 8 burgers on because we're going to feed the staff today here while we're here. That's the burgers on. We're just going to let them really caramelise up. Right, burgers have been cooking, and you can see they're almost done. I put some bacon on there as well, so we've got a nice bacon. So I'm just going to put some cheese on them. I've just got a standard cheddar here today, but at Tresanton they put a Gouda on it. Just going to put a little bit of cheese on there, just let the residual heat melt that. And as I said, I've cooked a few more because I am going to, treat the staff here today. I said let's use the premises. Okay, cheese is on. We're just going to close that for a minute. So we're going to now put the burger together. So, roll first. Mayonnaise on each. So we've got some beef tomatoes that we've lightly salted there as well. So we've got a piece of baby gem on the bottom, then a nice beef tomato. And we've got one of the burgers which is oozing with cheese now. Okay. A few pieces of bacon. Burger bun on top. We take a pickle in the skewer, so it's optional. And then we have a version of the Tresanton Posh Burger.
Okay, so while Tony's busy plating the food from the barbecue, today we also wanted to cover the importance of wine and drink with a meal. We are very lucky to have Elio in today. She has filmed a clip from her home, and she's going to talk about two wines which she has paired to Tony's food. Both wines come from the old Chapel wine store in Truro. So a good local supplier. The guys down there are fantastic. If you can get down there to buy your wines, then please do support a good local business. Ellie's going to go through first the Vino Verde and secondly the Côte de Rhône Red. She'll tell you all about them.
Hello, so I have a couple of lovely wines to go with Tony's delicious barbecue. I got a red and a white because I thought that we could kind of cover lots of ground with these two. So the white wine, obviously you've got like a really delicious burger, but the sort of Mediterranean barbecued courgettes and vegetables I thought would be really nice with something really fresh and zesty. So I've actually gone for a Vino Verde. Now this Vino Verde is a little bit more texture than regular Vino Verdes, and both of these wines we got from Old Chapel in Truro. So this is, you can see on the label here, we've actually got the grape varieties listed. So we have Avesso and Alvarinho. Alvarinho is the same grape variety as Albarino, it's just written differently. And this has a little bit more texture to it. So like I said, with that kind of barbecue, char grill flavours, you've got some lovely sweetness there with the courgette and some of the other vegetables. This is going to have this real fantastic brightness, which will just kind of work really well with those flavours. Vino Verde is has a little bit of a bad reputation in this country, but so versatile. If you have it with things like loads of seafood, it's absolutely delicious, and shellfish. But when you just go up a little bit in the kind of scale of sort of quality really, you can find these really, really amazing wines. And they have this really delicious kind of salinity to them. The Vino Verdes that we normally get, which again, they're really fantastic for that. It's not bad that they have this little spritz to it, but it was something that we associated with not such good quality. But like most things, they have a real kind of sense of place. And having something like this, oh my God, it's such a gorgeous colour. It's really kind of honey on the nose, and I just think that actually, like I said, going for scale up in the kind of Vino Verde thing, you get this real amazing quality. And that does not say, it's really kind of saline-y on the finish. That's going to be absolutely beautiful with that. And even with the burger, although obviously the easiest one is to go to something like a red, that's got so much pizzazz to it, so much freshness, that even with that burger, that's going to be absolutely delicious. So the next one I wanted to introduce you guys to was a wine from the Rhône. So we've been doing these kind of like study things each week, and last week was the Rhône, and I tasted this one, and it's absolutely delicious. Now Côte de Rhône has quite a lot of different styles in that area, and this is one of the Village wines, which I'm not going to pronounce for you, but again, you can get this one from Old Chapel. but it's absolutely delicious, and I really, really enjoyed it. Not only did I enjoy kind of sort of tasting Côte d'Rône, which had this kind of quality, but I enjoyed it for a couple of days after because it just really went with loads of different things. And the good things about wines like this is that you don't really think of burgers as pairing foods with wine, really, because they're food that you just can kind of sit back and enjoy. You haven't got to make it seem extra special. However, with a little bit of a thought about the wine, you can really kind of elevate the meal and also make it feel like special. You know, Tony spent no less effort making this food as anyone else. You know, it's just because it's seen as kind of fast food doesn't mean that it hasn't had any love and care made it, you know, for it to be created. So let me just open this one. I think you'll like this one, Mark. But the other thing with Côte d'Rône is that you can chill them sometimes. I often talk about chilling reds because I think people kind of don't really think about that. However, it can really transform where the wine kind of fits in your food, like not in it exactly, but with it. And with this, mostly Grenache. You can kind of see by the colour, it still looks like it's really lovely and deep, but actually it is so beautiful and fresh. Again, a little bit like that white in a way. And that is just absolutely divine. I think with that burger, it will be absolutely delicious. So yeah, like I said, enjoy and hope to see you all soon in person.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Ellie. That was very kind of you. Always a pleasure. And thank you for helping us choose these wines. So these wines we are going to pour, and we're going to give a sample to the lovely staff here at Tresanton. So whilst Tony serves up the food, we'll also be serving up a small glass of wine for them to sample with their meal. So I'll first start off by pouring some of the Vino Verde. So always important to show the bottle to the customer, so that they can make sure that they have the right wine. And as you're pouring it, also make sure that the label is facing the guest as you're pouring. So just a couple of little tips there. So as you can see, lovely bottle, and we're now going to just take the foil off the top very carefully. So presentation is really important. People are coming for a meal for the experience. It's not just the food that needs to look great. The wine also needs to look great, and the theatre that comes with that. So, as I said, we'll take the foil off the top of the bottle, lovely and smooth, coat around the top there, and then we'll just gently take out the cork. Now, Ellie is a fantastic sommelier, and she would take the wine to the table. She would do this at the table. Firstly, letting the guest have a little sample of the wine, just to make sure that the wine is as good as they were hoping. So there you go. I'm only going to pour a small amount into the glass. It's going to be a quick taster for the staff here. Once food is served, I will pour a few more. But for now, for these purposes, I'm just going to pour one glass. So there is the Vino Verde, lovely Portuguese white. And we now move on to the red, which Ellie also very kindly prepared for us. Okay, so again, here's the label. Again, a lovely bottle. And yes, Ellie, thank you very much. I think I did try this one, I have to say, on Saturday night on your recommendation. And it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Really lovely wine. Okay. I'm not going to go into describing it because Ellie's the expert there. She's already gone through the different tastes and the feels of the wine. I'm just going to show you how to pour. Okay, so again, here's the label. Okay, and if I was pouring at a table, I would be pouring so that the guests could see the label, and the guests around the table could also see the label. So again, I'm just going to pour a small amount into the glass. Just enough for a taste, and a little twist on the end to stop any drips from coming onto the table. Especially if you were serving on a table that a white tablecloth. You don't want any drips of wine on there. Again, it's about the theatre, and it's the presentation, it's keeping that table immaculate, it's the whole experience. So that is the red. So again, love the colour of that is lovely, and the smell, as I remember from Saturday night, is also beautiful. So I'm just going to move those two to one side. Next, we have a lovely beer. Now, the beer has been paired to the barbecue by Dean Bungay, our tutor from college. Now, Dean has made a career out of drink, out of wine, out of coffee, as has Ellie Owen. He now teaches our students, and he's paired this beer to the barbecue. Unfortunately, Dean was unable to film a video as he was having his first child. So, Dean, congratulations, cheers to you. But I've got to say, I did actually try this one on Saturday night as well. So, this one is, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, but the Acht Schlenfer Rauschbier, which is a smoked beer, smoked over beechwood, and it's a Bavarian beer. So again, I'll just show you that label. This beer is available from the Red Elephant cellar in Truro. So again, another local supplier, fantastic guys down there, really helpful. So if you're wanting any information on beer, it's not just wine that's paired to food these days. Beer too. There's many beer experts out there, and again, the beer does the same thing. It elevates the meal. Okay, so Dean has chosen this one, as I've said, because of the smoky flavours, and I have to say it is lovely. It's almost like you're eating a barbecue as you're drinking it. I don't have the words to explain how good this actually is, but it is a beautiful beer, and after a few drinks, well, the flavours are really coming through, and I can imagine that this will go down really well with Tony's Burger today. I'm just going to pour a small amount into the glass. Okay, so you can see, and the smell of that is absolutely divine. It smells part beer, part barbecue. So again, there's a beautiful head on there, really dark colour, and the taste are great. But thank you, and we'll get some drinks ready for the guys, for the staff from the Tresanton. Thank you.
Again, a huge thank you to Hotel Tresanton. We can't wait to see you open again.